You guys, my husband is home! Praise Jesus! If you guys have not been following my channel for a while, then I'm sorry for my outburst. But for those of you who have, after 11 weeks of being gone for work, my husband is finally home. Thank God I get a break. But look he brought me Polish pottery coffee mugs. This is just one of the two that he brought me, and I actually collect these and I love them so much. So if you ever find yourself near a Polish pottery store, go get one of their coffee mugs. This is a bubble mug and it holds a ton of coffee, and they're just, you know, beautifully decorated. So today we are going to be going over how do you teach your child how to read. I know that for me, when we first started homeschooling, this was an area where I definitely had to grow in. I felt very overwhelmed in. So I have 4 children. One is 18. She mostly attended public school. I have another child who is 8. He went to public school for preschool, kindergarten, and 1st grade. And then my 5-year-old has never been in public school. So when we first started homeschooling, I wasn't necessarily doubting my ability to homeschool, but I've never taught anybody how to read before, and reading is just it feels like such a big task because it really is something that you use in everyday life. It's something that you really need a good foundation in, and I wasn't sure if I was able to provide her with that. And part of me was even like, maybe we should add her to public school and let them teach her, and then I pull her out and go from there. But I'm not gonna do that. It's just that voice that gets inside your head, that self-doubt. So I know that if it was overwhelming me, it's probably overwhelming some of you. So I just want to take a moment and let you know that if reading and teaching your child how to read feels like a big task for you, Mama, you've got this. You just need patience with yourself. You need to know that you love those babies. You know them inside and out, and this might be an obstacle for you, and it might be one that you have to overcome with your child, but you can do it, okay? So just tell yourself, like when you start getting those little like self-doubt thoughts of add them to public school just to teach them, tell that little voice to be quiet because you've got this, okay? And I'm gonna give you some tips, and I hope that they work for you. Not everything may work for you. There may be things that work for you that don't work for us, and things that work for us that may not work for you. I hope that you can find something that in this video that is helpful to you. I've got a lot of different things. So my first tip is to get the motivation for yourself, just that confidence that you can do this, because Mama, you're doing great things in those kids' lives, and you can do this too. Next is Addie was really expressing a lot of desire to learn how to read last year. And so we got really excited. We purchased Masterbooks Foundations Phonics for her. And this is a really great book. But last year, it was not a great book for us. She was not ready for this book. So after doing about 2 lessons, we decided to call it quits. And I had some kind of hard feelings about this book. So this year I wasn't even sure if I wanted to use it. I was actually looking at other programs, but I decided, let's at least try to use what we have on hand and see if it was just that feeling of failure that we had to overcome. And so far this year, this book has been wonderful. She is learning so much. She's cognitively ready for it, and she is just doing amazing things. She's reading sentences, she's reading words, she's doing great. So if you are looking for a curriculum, I definitely recommend Masterbooks Foundations Phonics. However, if you're just starting out, like if your child isn't cognitively ready for a curriculum, one of the best things I think I did last year was I took it to basics. I got some little 50-cent index cards from, Target or Walmart, and I just made the ABCs on them. And Each week, we would start the week with one letter. We would go over that one letter for the entire week. And if she needed 2 weeks to really master that letter, then we took 2 weeks. So literally all of last year, these flashcards are all we did. We went over the letter. I printed her some free worksheets for each letter just from Google. And we really tried to master each letter before moving on to the next. And she did wonderful with that. We went over what the letter looks like, we went over writing it, we went over the sounds, and we really just tried to build as strong of a foundation as we could. And I think that helped her a lot. And so the next thing is songs. They have a ton of free resources on YouTube. So look at songs. They have some really fun ones. I'll try to link the ones below that we used. They had a lot of really like silly animations or just silly characters, and I think just the silliness of it tied with the rhyming of the songs really helped her. So we would go over the flashcards, we would go over the writing, and then I would have her listen to a song just on that letter and then the sound that it makes. Next, read to them. Your children love being read to. There is not a child that hates reading. There are only kids who just haven't experienced the love of it yet. So read to them. There is, you know what, I actually wasn't prepared to tell you guys this, so I didn't have it ready. But this book, The Read Aloud Family, oh my gosh, if you have one book that you read as a mother in your homeschooling journey, get this book. I will try to link it below if I remember. This is such a wonderful book. It talks about all of the benefits of reading, and not just how it helps your child's mind grow and their vocabulary grow to be read to, but also how it creates a lot of really beautiful family memories of, you know, when your children look back as adults, then they're going to remember, you know, family story time, and if you bake cookies or something, or, you know, you just gather around and you read together, they're going to remember those little things. And so get this book, read it, and just try to incorporate it. I see a lot of what she means by just building family memories and like inside jokes ever since we started doing our read alouds, and it's just been really beautiful, and it's been a really nice time together as a family. So try it out, see if you can maybe glean something from it from your own homeschooling journey or your own motherhood journey. I mean, you don't even have to be a homeschooler to read to your family, to do read aloud time, and to just bask in that togetherness. Next are, and then back to, you know, reading to them. It doesn't, you know, have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be like, oh man, we're gonna spend an hour reading. No, just read 15 minutes a day to them. They get so much from that one-on-one time with you, and you know, just hearing all of the different words that you're reading and how to pronounce them, and just developing, you know, a love for books. So read to them. And it doesn't matter, like any book that interests your child, whether it's a chapter book, a beginning reader book, you know, a huge book, a nonfiction book, a comic book, read whatever interests you and what interests them. And if a read aloud isn't working for you, if you start one and you're just like, I am not invested in this story at all, or my child isn't, then stop it. We started reading one book and my husband and I were all into it, and then he had to leave for work, and the kids weren't really involved and invested in it the way that, you know, my husband and I were. So I returned it to the library. And it's funny because he and I are like, man, we really want to know like how the story ends. We should go back to the library and pick it up and just read it together. So read aloud can be really special. Try it out, see if that works. If you have a beginning reader, these I Spy from A to Z books are amazing. Addie really loves these books. It's nothing intense. And it's funny because when I first got her this book, I thought, like, as we got to the first page, I was like, oh, I don't know if she's gonna be able to do this. It might overwhelm her a little bit. And she got it like right away. I was really impressed. So it goes, I spy with my little eyes, something beginning with, and then it has the letter that they have to find what picture starts with that letter. And so obviously, I mean, A is gonna be apple, and then it tells you. So as you're doing it, you know, you're sounding out everything, and I think that it really helps them to tie together, like, okay, so car doesn't start with ah, but what sound does it start with? And then they just start picking it up more. So these books, they're really inexpensive. I found some on Thrift Books for $3 or $4, but I think you can even get them on Amazon for like $5 or $6. But they have all different types. And if you guys saw my fall book haul, then I also showed how we found a Thanksgiving one that she can also color. I'll link it above if you guys are interested. But they have all different types. So I will try to link some of these below. This like brand or author has been really great, and she really enjoys these, and just sitting down and looking through them and trying to sound out what each word starts with. Next is flashcards. Flashcards don't have to be expensive. I showed you guys that, you know, you can just go to the Target or Walmart and you guys can make your own for, you know, all of 50 cents. But Amazon also has a lot of really great flashcard sets for like $3 to $5. I think I even got this one for like $5. It was Scholastic. And it's really cute. They're not necessarily paper ones. The baby probably could rip it, so if you have little ones, just be careful. But they have some really easy, you know, just beginning reader words. And then we also got some picture word flashcards. I think these were like $3 or $4 as well. So it doesn't have to be expensive to teach your child how to read. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. The last tip I have is time. You know, if your child seems ready, they might be ready for a full-blown curriculum, or they might, you know, seem ready but not be ready for a curriculum, but maybe be ready for just building the foundations of it. I think when the baby is, you know, 4 or 5 and he starts expressing an interest in learning and reading, I'm gonna do what I did with Addie, and I'm gonna take a whole year, or, you know, however much time he needs, because that's a really important thing to mention, is that each child is gonna need their own time. You might have a child who blows through this and is, you know, learns, you know, their ABCs, you know, over a matter of months and is ready to read within 6 months. Or you might have a child who needs to go over these all year long and then is ready for, you know, a full-blown curriculum the following year. So depending on your child, you just may need time. So don't give up hope. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt your capabilities. Sometimes you just need that breather, and you need to just take it at their pace instead of your own, you know, timeline in your head. I think sometimes it can also be really overwhelming or even disheartening, like if you have a friend who has a child the same age and they're already reading and you're like, oh man, am I failing my child? Like, they're not reading. Don't compare kids. Don't even compare your own kids. You know, what gifts, you know, one child may have may not be the same gifts that another child has. So take the time, build the foundation, keep showing up, doing your due diligence. The rest is gonna follow. I hope that this video helps you. I hope it helps you feel less overwhelmed. I hope it helps you to get different ideas, maybe some different book ideas that can be a blessing to your family. If it did, please give me a big thumbs up, hit that red subscribe button, and I will see you again later. Bye.